Hey everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. My name is Andy Smith. I'm a regional sales manager for Western North America for Pixatope Technologies. I greatly appreciate Frater for KINO FLO for allowing me to come speak today. To get things started, I have a very specific skill that I've inherited from my father. I want everybody at once to tell me your name on the count of three. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. No, I didn't get a single one of those. I was just trying to break the ice here. Anyway, my name's Andy Smith. I work with Pixatope Technologies. I'm going to give a brief understanding of our color management workflow. But before I dive into that, I do want to go a little bit into detail about who we are, where we came from, and what our offerings look like. So just a little bit about us. The Future Group was founded, our previous name, in 2013 as a virtual production company. We did a show based out of Oslo, Norway, called Lost in Time. It was a green screen studio with AR elements as well as AR set extensions. The audience at home could actually interact via a mobile app on their phone. We took these tools that we created using Unreal to make the workflow a little bit easier and make it flow a little bit ease of use type sort of thing. And we took that and decided to just launch our own software platform. We successfully did that in early 2019. We rebranded ourselves from what was known as the Future Group to Pixatope Technologies in 2021, and recently acquired about a year ago our own camera tracking company called Trackman, which now gave us an end-to-end solution, graphics, and tracking. This year, we've implemented our cloud implementation. We have a mobile app called Pixatope Pocket that's geared more towards education environments, and we're branching out to a few new markets. Our why of existence is that we want to see VP everywhere. We want to see virtual production more accessible. We understand that all video-based content will eventually have that high visual impact of high-end feature films, and virtual production will become more of a mainstay technology that enables these new types of experiences. With all that being said, media creators need a reliable and sustainable platform that's able to provide them with that stability and synchronization across whatever type of production they may be involved in. So just briefly, our solutions, we can split these up into two different tiers. First being graphics, second being tracking. We have a few graphics packages, licensing structures, first being augmented reality, mostly used for live events, but definitely used in a lot of in-studio presentations and productions. Virtual studios, which is primarily green screen with the use of AR set extensions as well as AR foreground elements. And of course, our XR suite. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this today, primarily when we talk about our color management workflow, as well as screen calibration workflow. This is just a few stills from one of our latest productions that we did, our Dota 2 International. This was working with Myreese as our creative partner. They were able to utilize some of our key benefits of our XR feature, like our auto wall calibration, our auto color management system, to seamlessly match the XR and the AR set extensions. And then, of course, our tracking. We understand that tracking is the glue that holds every production together, blending the virtual and the physical world. We have 4 different editions. Pixatope Fly, best suited, given its name, for drones as well as cable cams. This utilizes markerless technology to where you don't have to utilize any type of external hardware to be able to capture your tracking data. We have Pixatope Tracking Marker and Vision Edition. Marker uses both optical as well as infrared tracking with a small set of markers on the floor or on the ceiling. Pixatope Vision has both marker and markerless tracking for full functionality. What this does is it builds a point cloud for your markerless tracking based off of the physical features in your environment. So the trusses in the ceiling, the lighting fixtures in the ceiling could act as your points of reference for our point cloud to be drawn up and produced through our tracking engine, being fed the tracking data through our graphics engine. Our Pixatope XR edition also has a comprehensive tool set for setting up as well as rendering to LED volumes. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into this. You're combining your multiple virtual production techniques all into one suite. So you're able to utilize your XR for LED volumes, your AR set extensions, AR foreground elements to create a more immersive and enriched environment for your storytelling process. And without moving forward, I do want to definitely, before we get into the nuts and bolts, the meats and potatoes, I definitely want to just hint a little bit in regards to our global support system. We do have a 24/7, 365, 1-hour guaranteed response time with every package included for Pixatope. So, screen calibration. This is just a brief example from Dota 2 International, giving a little bit of understanding of what the final render looked like after the process was completed for our auto wall calibration and auto color matching software engagements. What you see here is the AR set extensions being added to the XR volume, and now you see no lines of division to where everything matches seamlessly. This is the first portion of what we're going to talk about today, and that's regarding screen calibration. We utilize what we call Ghost Track. This is utilizing AGS Ghost Frame. Anyone familiar with Ghost Frame? Excellent. So I don't need to go in too deep of detail, which is awesome, fantastic. So this does require RAW visual panels, and it does require the megapixel VR Helios processor. We're able to take one of those inputs from Ghost Frame and put our calibration markers on the XR volume itself. The only thing that sees it is the camera based off of the matched frame rate. And you don't have any of that annoying flicker that will give someone like myself with epilepsy a seizure. We don't want that while we're on a production set. So all you see to your naked eye is, of course, the video background that you're putting on the wall, but the camera sees the calibration markers, which brings us to one of our features called Digital Twin. I mentioned our tracking software solutions because I would definitely want to hit into this. So utilizing Pixatope Vision, as well as Ghost Track, we're able to do something called Digital Twin. This takes your screen calibration process and takes it from a couple of days to a couple of hours. So with Digital Twin generated from the Pixatope's tracking point cloud, you can then import that into the Pixatope XR Edition to the graphics software as a mesh for faster wall calibration. How is this done? So this short demonstration here, you have your calibration panels on the wall. That is brought into our tracking system and then fed into our graphics system. Then you bring the mesh into the Pixatope scene. You select the digital twin that you generated, and you hit calibrate. This then puts an AR overlay on top of the wall to where you can calibrate the wall faster and simpler, and it matches your AR set extensions to where everything lines up seamlessly. Which brings us to our auto color matching sequence. So, pointing the camera at the wall, I could read it word for word. Pointing the camera at the wall and clicking a button initiates the color matching process and creates a LUT for the wall video and AR set extension that matches. But that really doesn't explain how it's done. And anyone in here Chris Farley fans, like myself. So when you're on a production set, you definitely want this reaction when he's looking at the AR set extensions as well as the XR volume. You do not want your colors not to match, because then that breaks the illusion and that breaks the entire thing that you're trying to put across within your storytelling. So our auto color matching calibration process does this for you. You, of course, need to do a few different things prior to the actual calibration process, and that is making sure that your lighting is 100% set up and it is production ready for everything that you may be doing. You want to make sure that your camera settings are set correctly, where you have turned off the auto white balance. You want to make sure that you've calibrated for white balance and black balance. You want to lock off your camera head after zooming into the wall in a blurred image. And this is a little demonstration that shows how this process is done visually. So you point the camera at the wall, you hit the calibrate sequence button within Pixatope, and it goes through a series of colors. It then creates a custom LUT that matches your AR set extensions to your XR volume. You can go into the actual XR suite itself, and you can create as many color profiles as you want, depending on how many scenes you may have in a given production. This is so you don't have to repeat the process over and over and over and over again at the beginning or the end of every single day. And now let's dive just a little bit back into color management. Pixatope provides an HDR-ready color management system to allow for a complete HDR workflow. As you can see, it does require a few things. First thing is, of course, your HDR camera. That being fed into an HDR-ready management medium, which we have listed here as an AJA card. That goes into our color management system. Then we compile everything within linear space in Pixatope, compositing of your 3D and your video. This is utilizing color conversion using ACES as well as OCIO. You're going back out of linear space, back into nonlinear space, into your HDR-ready AJA management medium, and then to your HDR display. The bottom line is you cannot judge what you cannot see. So it's very important that what your camera is intaking into the beginning of the stream, that you're managing that all the way through your pipeline to have the best output possible. Now, ACES, we'll talk about the two color management systems that we utilize within Pixatope. I don't know about you guys, but I hear tubas when I watch these ACES march. I don't know if anyone else does. Can you hear it? I can hear it. I'm going to move on so I don't get distracted. Anyway, ACES, Academy Color Encoding System. It's an open color management and interchange system developed by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, as well as a few industry partners. In an industry that has a vast majority of different display types, camera types, virtual production platforms, ACES, the Academy saw a need for a color management system that was open sourced and open to anyone that needed to use it within the industry. This makes, of course, for the management of the color from A to Z a whole lot more seamless, and it also creates an easier workflow from beginning to end to maintain your image quality and color management all the way through your pipeline. The second one that we use is OCIO. That's Open Color I/O. I didn't have any type of funny images to put on this one. I tried, guys. I tried, but I couldn't make anything connect without it being too weird. So OCIO is another complete color management solution, but it's more geared towards television and motion picture, with an emphasis on visual effects and computer graphics. I want to take you through a couple of scenarios with Pixatope, going through video workspace and then going through a linear workspace. So working in video space, you want to take your regular SDR Rec 709 input and output video, but you're wanting to make it look like it does in your existing video mixer. So going into Pixatope, what you would do is under our user interface, you would open up your scene and you would select your color space to work in as video space. This would, of course, disable a few things that you would normally see in native Unreal, but it would also open up the window for you to actually do a lot of manual color editing within our UI. So you can adjust your gamut, you can adjust a whole bunch of different things just by the sliding of a few sliders within our color management system. Our second scenario, of course, is working within linear space. Working within linear space, of course, allows you to be able to use our color management system through ACES and OCIO, as I mentioned earlier. You still want your input and output, of course, to look exactly like it does in your video mixer. Working in linear space, however, enabling that gives you a more crisp look from beginning to end through utilizing the color management system, and you don't have to do as much work in between. All of this being said is, I'm going to go back, way back, to some terms in regards to linear and non-linear. Does anyone know the difference between linear and non-linear from a film standpoint? Feel free. We're in this together.
From an editorial standpoint?
Sure.
Like a non-linear editor where all your clips in a computer are supposed to actually film analog?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else? No, because what? Oh, here, I'll repeat the answer. Here, I'll just let him do this.
I'll do the question again. So, for example, nonlinear editing, where all your clips are data files, compared to linear editing on film with actual physical media.
Anyone else? I think that nailed the head right there. That was perfect. So anyway, working within linear space, imagine that is a production plot line. I want to say it like that. Imagine a movie plot. You have 3 parts. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. In linear space, in a linear plot line, that is done chronologically. In a nonlinear plot line, you have the 3 same, procedures as a beginning, a middle, and an end, but it's not done chronologically. Working within linear space, you have a chronological workflow from beginning to end, and it maintains the quality that you're getting from your camera all the way through to your final output. And then when it comes to camera selection, this is where I can't really say yay or nay in regards to which one I prefer over another. We work with several manufacturing types. I do say that you want to make sure that your quality of camera is high, a little bit above the prosumer level. You want to make sure that it offers several features that you wouldn't get with a lesser camera type. We work with Panasonic, we work with Blackmagic, we work with Sony, we work with Red, several others. But I would definitely recommend just making sure that you look at what type of workflow, what type of use case are you actually pursuing. And that would basically really give you a better understanding of which camera type you would want to go with. Pixatope supports already within itself a laundry list of camera types as well as lens types. So you have very agnostic, coming into Pixatope operation style where you can choose certain things over others, and we already incorporate them into our workflow. With that being said, I definitely want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, Freighter. Thank you, KINO FLO. It's been an absolute blessing to be in the same room as all of you, so thank you so much. Also, this QR code, you can scan that, and that'll take you directly to a lot of information that we covered today. Thank you.
Questions from anyone? I'm sure there's going to be some. If not, that was a very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.